I gotta smoke on this one, man. I just seen this fucking video. This shit hurts my soul. Oh, this shit hurts my soul. It hurts my soul. It hurts my soul. I just seen this video, and it was about this African dude, and he was working, and he was shoveling the dirt into the back of this truck, and he was doing it with such skill that he was shoveling the dirt into the truck and throwing the shovel up in the air and catching it, and then shoveling the shit again and throwing it in there. And he was doing that over and over and over. And it was so much skill involved. There's so much things to break down in this video, like, because what he was doing is already some bullshit. Like, damn, that's what you got to do all day for your job. You're just shoveling some dirt and just throwing it in there. So he done made it into a skill where he's doing this, and you have to throw that shit the right way. Like, there's skill involved in what he's doing. It's almost like a shot with a basketball. You got to get your shit down, your form down, so you comes right back and you catch it right. So that means he's been doing this so much that he done figured out how to do this. Like, he done turned this into like some extra shit. And there is like so much to break down in this, because the spirit of who he is, to be able to just be doing this, and like, because it's like, maybe he's getting paid a lot, maybe he's not. We don't know how much he's getting paid, but regardless, he's enjoying what he's doing, because that looked like he was having fun. Like, nigga, But of course, it's a video, so he might not be doing that for very long, but he probably is if you done got that skill to do that. But the point is, that's what, yeah, we're slaves. We're slaves. We're fucking slaves. Not because, not meaning that he's a slave, or not meaning that, he's a slave because he's like a slave. It just made sense for us, like the Bible, slavery, let my people go, and all that type of stuff. Damn, that's fucked up. Because when you think about it, as long as you're cut off to the things inside of you, that's what makes it easier for you to just stay with the program. You're cut off from the things that would make you not fight the programming. Like, because I'm just like not wanting to do with whatever. I'm not saying I don't work and get a job, and but I just don't want to do everything that everybody's doing. Like, I just don't care about that shit as much as you would care if you were engulfed in the program. But the point is if you don't have all these things activated in you, that's what makes it easier for you to be a slave, because you're actually, and I'm not even meaning, like, I hate to say it that way because it sounds bad. I don't mean it in a bad way or a and this isn't for just black people. It just triggered me seeing a black person doing what he was doing, because it reminded me of slavery. It wasn't like he's a slave right now. It made me be able to see it more, because I'm looking at this being that I know has such potential and so much in him, and this is what he's doing. So to have so much potential in you, but to still just be doing something like this, means that you would only be doing that because you're cut off to all the things inside of you that make it so that you would want to go do a bunch of shit. Like, oh, we cut that shit off, so now you don't have that ambition to do other things. Like, you're not really feeling like gung-ho about doing other things, because you don't have the spirit to want to go do it. Like, I can do it. You don't have that I can do it in you. And if they take that away from you, they snip that or block that, however way, up in you, and now you don't have that. That makes it easier for you to be programmed and just go along with whatever you're doing, so you can just stick to the program. They just want us to stick to the program. I don't know if that actually makes them evil for that. I don't think that actually makes them evil. It just means that they created a world that they wanted it to be a certain way, and they trying to keep it that way. And they don't want nobody to fuck it up. But it's like, why are you... Well, yeah, I don't know where to go after that. Like, because it's like, okay, you have this world, you want it, it's going the way you want it to be going, and you don't want it to be fucked with. but you need a certain amount of beings to wake up. But you don't really need them all to wake up, nor do you want them all to wake up. Nor do we need them all to wake up. Because I'm realizing everybody doesn't need to be like me or like woke people, or like not woke people, because not that kind of woke. Because I'm talking about some whole different shit, not your political woke shit. I ain't talking about that. Because you don't need a world full of people like me, because I am like me, but you need people that are actually going to do stuff that I'm not going to go do anyway. So I get that concept, because I'm not going to do half the shit that you see a lot of people doing anyway. So that's where it makes sense to have these types of people. That's why they created these types of people. And now you have a whole world full of these types of people, and it's like, oh. And that's not necessarily meaning there's something, well, there is something wrong with all of us. And it doesn't mean like a dig. It's just is what it is. Like, we're supposed to be. They wanted us to be that way because they didn't want a bunch of accelerating or excelling ass people that are doing too much. They're like, no, we need you to do this. We don't need you to do too much. Damn, it's just like a fucking job. When you get the job and you're able to fucking do all this other shit, but they don't want you to do all this other shit. They don't want you to be the marketing manager for the company. They already have a marketing person. They just want you to answer the phone and tell them about this fucking product. But you have all these other gifts and you can do them, but you can tell them about stuff that can help their company, but they didn't hire you for that. They hired you for this. And you want to do all these other things, and now it's kind of fucking with you, and you're not even a good worker anymore because you're capable of so much more. So you don't even want to do this job because you're so capable of so much more. So then they just take away your capabilities to do so much more. So maybe you'll be okay with this fucking job because you don't feel like you can even do much more. So now we take away your capabilities, so you're not so ambitious. But you're still sad because you can feel the spirit in you not being used. So they didn't get it right, because you still come to a place of, but no, it's not that you didn't get it right. You just need to be upgraded. And now it's time for you to upgrade your spirit, because you've been doing this long enough. And now it's like, okay, it's time to upgrade our beings. And how do we upgrade them without telling them? How do we like, you can't upgrade us without us figuring out that you've been fucking with us. So I guess the cat's just got to be out the bag now, because we got to upgrade. You got to get your new puberty or your second puberty. Like, if you didn't have your puberty, how is you going to get all the things in your body to even have a kid? Like, that's when I say upgrade, that's like you going from a child to you have your puberty. That's your body upgrading to have the reproductive system. And now you have another puberty where you open up other things inside of you, and you have to open them up slowly. That's why when they say do the work, it's a over time thing of you slowly, like, chopping off trauma. That's why people say they're shadow work, or they're working on themselves, and they've been going deep inside themselves because they're chopping off a bunch of bullshit to get to the gold of just your energy flowing. And then the more that flows, the more it can flow, the more stuff comes back to you. But that's why, because I would call it an upgrading, like upgrading your systems, because you're opening up things inside of you where now you can feel things flowing. And that's how I feel. Like, I can put, like, my pressure point. You know how you see those things where they say that there's pressure points on people, and they do those the needle thing, acupuncture therapy, because you have different pressure points on you. Like, when I say that you are upgrading or activating yourself, like the reason I even feel that way, as if I've activated or upgraded myself, is because of the way I feel and the way I felt over time. And this is from years of me doing something. Like, I didn't wake up one day and blah. It was like, no, first I started with this, then I'm doing these stretches, and then all of a sudden I'm starting to feel like, oh shit, I got to a point like 4 or 5 years ago where I was just, and just pressure points. Like, it's, you should be able to push on a certain point on your body, and energy is going to go there because energy is just flowing. It's almost like when you touch the fucking TV screen and you see that energy come around that area that you're touching on the screen, and you don't know what the fuck that is. It just looks kind of weird, but you can see the energy that's kind of like, it just makes the screen look different, but you just touching it is causing that energy or something like that to move around. And that's what I'm saying, like when you touch different places, when it's activated, that's how it would be. But of course you're not going to see that. Like, I don't see anything when I touch it, but I can feel it. And as long as you can feel something in your body, that's how you know something is working. So you don't give a fuck what nobody's talking about. That's why I could care less what any of y'all are talking about. Fuck what you're talking about, because you're not going through what I'm going through, and you're not feeling what people are feeling. And people know when something's going on inside of their bodies because they can feel it. It's not no, there's no way around it. Like, there's no reason to act like you don't feel something. When you feel something, you feel shit in your body changing. Like, that's why it's like, it does not matter about no studies. It doesn't matter about anything. It matters about, oh, I'm feeling this and I know what's happening. Whatever the fuck you're talking about, you can kiss my ass, because you're just not experiencing it, so you just don't get it. You're just not feeling it. And enough people are feeling it, and enough people are going through it to know that it's real. So sometimes it just seems real for you because you're the only one going through it, and it's gonna seem fake for everybody else. So that's gonna be fucking with you. And I'm more or less talking to specific people right now. So just keep going with what you're doing, and don't be worried about other people understanding what you're going through, because they're not going through it. If And like they say, it's all in your head. It is in your head, and you are experiencing whatever you're experiencing. And if anything, you can seek people to talk to about it, but most people won't really, if they're not going through it, they're not going to understand it. Like, if anything, you can find people that are going through it and you talk to them. That's why people like me and other people you see are talking to y'all about this weird stuff that you don't want to necessarily hear, because we know that you need somebody to hear from or talk to, so you don't feel crazy, because they're going to make you feel crazy, because you should feel crazy. This world is not for that. Like, that's why it's not a common knowledge, the stuff that we're talking about, because the world wasn't set up to be that way. It wasn't set up for us to be activated. And they're not giving us knowledge on how to activate ourselves. They're not telling us that you're gonna have another activation, because they wasn't necessarily planning for that. But for some reason, it needs to happen if it's happening. And clearly, they're like, no, we need this to happen. We need people to wake up. We need this energy to change on this planet, and frequencies to change. And that's what's going on. And so you see everybody around you slowly but surely. Even now, you start hearing healing. Everybody's talking about healing, even though they're not always up to par on the ways to do it yet. They're still trying to do it. And the fact that that's becoming a trend of healing, that's actually not a bad thing. And so it might annoy some of you spiritual people to hear people that don't know what they're talking about shit. And you've been talking about this shit for so long, so you like, shut the fuck up. This is my shit. Let me talk about it. But you just got to let everybody talk about it, because even those people are going to be helping other people to get into it. So let everybody talk, let everybody say what the fuck they want to say, and leave them the fuck alone. And yeah, they're going to be spreading some false information. Yeah, they're going to be saying shit that you don't agree with. I'm going to be saying shit that you're not going to agree with. But I'm coming from a place that you're definitely not going to even be able to even get where I'm coming from. So I can't be mad at you for thinking I'm full of shit, because of course I'm going to look like I'm full of shit to you. You're not experiencing that. It's like some shit that you gotta experience it to get where I'm coming from. So there's no reason for me, like, I'm okay with that. That makes perfect sense for you to feel that way. If you think I'm full of shit, then that makes perfect sense. Like, why wouldn't you think I'm full of shit if you are okay with what's going on? If you're okay with the way this world is, you like the way it's moving, then you don't want to hear what I got to say. So that makes perfect sense. We don't have to vibe. We don't have to, resonate with each other. It's okay. Like, we don't have to do that, but, live and let live.